and welcome to Out of the Darkroom on Adorama TV. I'm Ruth Medjber and I'm here today in my photo studio and I'm going to be showing you some of the equipment I use on portrait shoots. So as you can see, this is quite a small space to have a photo studio. The ceilings are relatively low and there's very limited floor space, but I still make it work. The studio for me is more of a secondary base as I work out a lot on location, but I still have to have it fully functional and super professional. The lights that I use are actually lights that I've used since I graduated college in 2008. When I was in college, we used to use Bowens a lot, and I looked at them and thought, well, if 100 students are abusing these lights daily and they're still holding up to it, then they're the lights that I want. And I wasn't wrong. The lights that I use, they're fantastic. I mean, there's nothing that's gone wrong with them since I've got them, and they're still doing the job that I wanted them for. In terms of light modifiers in the studio, really important to make your choices along the way. I mean, the umbrellas that came with the kit I still use because they're fantastic. So what you can do with the umbrellas is you can shoot through them and get a really diffused, lovely soft light, or you can turn them around, put the silver jacket kind of back on them and then use them as a bounce, and you get two different types of light, which is great. I've used that for so long. How easy is it just putting up an umbrella when you reach a location, or just having them set up? It takes no time at all. They're just really easy to do. I also use a softbox, which you can see behind me is a Westcott softbox, which is brilliant again. It's a really nice, broad, diffuse light that you'll get on people. I think I'd probably end up using the softbox a lot when I'm doing high-key photography. So that's with the white backdrop. Backdrops is something that we really should talk about in depth, so that's what I'm going to do. There's lots of ways when you're setting up your studio to use a backdrop. You can use the bracket system, which I have here in place as well, which is two steel brackets drilled into the wall. Now, I love this way of doing it because it's relatively cost effective. And it doesn't take up any floor space at all, and it's really sturdy too. You'll need to pick up an expand set as well. So what happens is these just slide into the end of the rolls of the paper and literally they expand and they clamp on, and then you can put the chain system on the edge here and it acts as like a pulley. The only thing I'd say if you were going to go with this system is I might suggest getting the metal linked chains as opposed to the plastic ones, because the plastic ones in time they will start to kind of pop off a little bit easier. It's a little bit annoying after a while, so the metal link chains are a lot better to do it. The other support system I have is fantastic. The support system is the Light Solo background support system, and I have the 3-meter version. This is brilliant because when the older systems, it was literally 2 stands and a crossbar going across that way. And when you wanted to put it up yourself, you had to raise one half, go across, raise a little bit, and a little bit more. And that took ages when you were doing it on your own. It was ridiculous. But the great thing about the Light Solo background support is that it's on a tilting system. So if you imagine you still have your 2 super sturdy stands, the crossbar going across is on a pivot. So when you raise it, it actually drops this side. So you can go as high as you want here and then run across and just do this. It's so simple. I can set up this support system on my own without the use of an assistant. So that's the brackets on the wall and then the background support. But if you didn't want to drill into the wall and you still wanted to save space on your floor, you can use an auto pole system. You just raise the poles and it clamps like a suspension clamp between the ceiling and the floor. Now obviously you can't have suspended ceilings or anything like that you'll burst through, but they're brilliant. It's just one pole and then you get like a really strong Manfrotto super clamp your bracket systems onto the front, and then there you go, there's your 2 poles with no tripod stands or anything like that in the way, which is really handy to have. I always love working with color in my shoots. I just think it just gives you a little bit more variety, especially when you're doing musicians or even just headshots. I mean, the amount of people requesting corporate headshots that are a little bit different these days. The background rolls that I have here, doesn't really matter what brand they are, I find. I just go for like whatever colors that I really want. So another space saver for small studios with 0 floor space like this one is a wall-mounted boom arm. They're brilliant because you don't have to put a stand with 3 legs out in the middle of the floor where people or children can trip over it. So I have a couple of them mounted around the studio on the walls, and then my lights just clip onto them. And they're brilliant because they raise up and down, and from side to side they swing around, so you can position your light pretty much anywhere. You get the full scope of it. And they do take an awful lot of weight once you drill them up to the wall correctly, and they just save space so easily. I mean, they just fold up against the wall when you don't need them. Well, that's it for this show. I really hope you enjoyed this episode. If you'd like to see more videos, then subscribe to the Adorama YouTube channel. If you'd like to brush up on your own photography skills, then check out the Adorama Learning Centre. And if you have any comments or thoughts on this show, then please feel free to leave them in the section below. I do love getting your feedback. Thanks, and I'll see you again soon.
Do you want great looking prints at low cost? Be sure to visit our easy to use online printing service. Adorama Pix has professionals who treat your images with the utmost care that you can count on. For a quick turnaround on photos, cards, or albums, use AdoramaPix.com.